Congratulations! You've just found out that you're pregnant. I'm so happy for you. So I'm making this video because I wish that I had these 10 tips when I found out. When you first find out that you're pregnant, it can be pretty overwhelming. There's a lot of information out there, and it can be really hard to know what to start with. So what we're going to cover in this video are some do's, don'ts, and general tips. We're going to talk about when to talk to your doctor, who to tell about your pregnancy and when, what you can eat and what you can't, lifestyle changes, the first sort of symptoms in the first trimester and how to deal with them, and then at the very end, a final tip, which is how you can prep ahead a little bit. My very first tip is celebrate. I know this seems obvious and we've probably been running around the house, freaking out, very happy, terrified, or a mixture of all the emotions, but try to remember to jot it down somewhere. So if you journal, write it down in a journal. If you don't, just grab a random piece of paper and then hide it away in a shoebox somewhere. You won't regret it. It's so nice to look back on all of those emotions when you first found out. If you're a bit more digital than I am, you can film your partner's reaction or whatever else might come to mind. Number 2 is call your doctor. So this is going to be different in every single country. I live in Dubai in the UAE. I called my doctor same day I found out, booked an appointment for next day, and that day I got results back from a blood test that I was pregnant. So call your doctor. You might have same scenario as me, or they might tell you to come back in a couple of weeks' time. It varies a lot. Tip number 3, take prenatal vitamins. This is really important. The most essential component at the beginning is folic acid. So ideally, you've been taking folic acid supplements around 3 months before you became pregnant. But don't panic, if that wasn't you, you can start now. So you can go to any pharmacy and get any prenatal vitamin, or if you do have an appointment coming up with your doctor, just check in with them on what they suggest or what they might prescribe for you. Folic acid is really important to stop fetal abnormalities and conditions in the spine, like neural tube defects, and also can prevent early miscarriage. So it's really important to take your prenatals. Number 4, do tell people that you're pregnant as long as you're okay to tell them if you've had a miscarriage. So this is a tough one. I definitely had friends who I knew I would want to tell if I had a miscarriage because I would seek out their support. And these were the first people that I told. And likely that there's probably a spectrum, so you've got to weigh up how much you want to tell that person and how weird you'd feel telling them if you had a miscarriage. And that will kind of judge when you tell them along the journey. The rule that you don't tell anyone until 12 weeks is a little silly because it's a completely linear graph when you look at risk of miscarriage week by week. So it's decreasing slowly every single week. So it's really up to you at what point you feel comfortable sharing with people. And a little caveat, you can tell random strangers who you're never gonna see again that you're pregnant because, yeah, why not? Actually, for me, the first person who found out I was pregnant was my dentist. Because I had a dentist appointment that day and I realized maybe I should tell them that I'm pregnant, and I hadn't even seen my husband yet. So yeah, feel free to tell random people in the street. Number 5, don't continue smoking, drinking, drugs, and caffeine in excessive amounts. So the really hard rules are smoking and hard drugs. Absolutely quit those right away. And what I would recommend is quitting also caffeine, alcohol, and just anything that you deem as unhealthy. What I'd recommend is getting this book, Expecting Better by Emily Oster. It's fantastic. It's a data-driven book, and she really looks into what the science says on alcohol and caffeine. So get this book, have a thorough read, and then you can make an informed decision if you do want to have the occasional glass of wine, or if you do want to stick to your morning cup of coffee. So it's really up to you, but I find at the beginning it's safest just to cut everything out, get informed, and then make decisions. Number 6, don't eat anything that you wouldn't eat at a cheap, all-you-can-eat buffet on a very hot day. So bear with me on this. Pregnant ladies are 10 times more likely to get food poisoning than a normal unpregnant person, which is crazy. So if ever you're unsure about something, you're looking at some kind of pate which has been out at a party for a while, just remember this analogy: would you eat it at a buffet restaurant? And that will give you an overall guideline. The second thing food-wise is toxoplasmosis is very dangerous for pregnant women, and toxoplasmosis is caused by dirt and soil. So wash your fruits and vegetables thoroughly. That's really important. And finally, also mercury. So you don't want to eat mercury-heavy fish every day or in high doses, or just try to avoid it in general. So that's generally big fish, because they're at the top of the food chain and mercury accumulates in the food chain. So things like shark, tuna, swordfish, these sorts of big fish are best to avoid. And once again, Expecting Better goes in a lot of detail about all of the foods you can and can't eat and why. So either way, just get this book. It's one of the first ones I read and I'm really glad. Number 7, stop using any retinoids or retinols. So these are products for the skin. You can either get prescribed tablets for the skin, like for acne and other skin conditions, or you might have retinoids inside your skincare products and you might not even know it. So what I would suggest is, if you're taking any pills, stop, because there have been a lot of studies to show that retinoids, especially in pill form, cause birth defects. And number 2, go check all of your skincare for retinoids or retinol, because you might not even know they're in there, and just gift those to your friends. Number 8, avoid hot tubs, saunas, steam rooms, very hot environments in the first trimester. So most of the research has been done on hot tubs, which is shown to cause different birth defects, especially neural tube defects. Or you might hear the mosque in the background here. So yeah, avoid hot tubs, and if you're going to take a bath, just for extra caution, make sure it's not too hot and you're not in there too long. Number 9, the most common symptoms in the first trimester. So I'd say the most common symptoms are fatigue, nausea, which comes along with aversions and cravings usually, and finally your breast tenderness. So firstly, fatigue. There's not very much you can do about fatigue apart from sleep. So try get naps in if it's all possible, and try to go to bed early. Nausea. So nausea, it varies a lot for people, but typically most pregnant women do have some level of nausea at some time or another. I had nausea constantly, day and night, luckily without throwing up, but for 6 to 8 weeks, I think. I'm just now getting over the nausea part, and I'm at week 14, almost 15. So what you can do with nausea is eat like a hobbit. This is what I call my hobbit diet, is eating many meals a day and smaller meals. Because as soon as your tummy is empty, that's when the nausea usually sets in. So try to have smaller meals, but more of them. And everyone has different aversions and cravings, but I have done a lot of reading through Reddit and what people can eat and what they can't to try and get some inspiration, because I just didn't feel like eating pretty much anything. It seems like most women can still eat fruits, so that's a really good healthy thing you can eat. And I also had dried fruits in the cupboard or in my bag at all times, like dried figs or dates, dried mango, things like that. Also, crackers are the best, just something plain and simple. And my absolute favorite go-to has been crackers with Philadelphia cream cheese, just the best. So bland foods, and try stick with fruits because they seem to be palatable for most people. And ginger helps with nausea. I'm going to talk a bit about that in the last fact, so bear with me on that one. And finally, breast tenderness. So this is a very early symptom for most women, and you'll feel that your breasts start to grow and they feel heavy and sore. At the very start, I sleep on my belly, and I couldn't even sleep on my front because my breast was so sore. And there were days where I just could not bring myself to put on a bra. I'd just walk the dogs braless and be like, I don't care, I'm beyond caring. So just go easy on yourself. Wear sports bras instead of underwire ones if you have some that feel comfortable. But I would say don't buy new bras yet, because your breasts will continue to grow for a little bit longer. So before I come on to the very last tip, which is my favorite, if you've been enjoying this video, please give it a like and subscribe. I have just started this channel, so it's fairly new, and I'm now 14, almost 15 weeks pregnant, so I'm documenting my journey, and also I'm reading a ton of pregnancy books and absorbing information so that I can make informative videos for people like you. So please subscribe. I'm posting videos every week. I'm also a prenatal yoga teacher, so I have full intention to post some yoga videos as well to help you get through the pregnancy. Final point, number 10, is prepping ahead. And I really wish I'd been given this advice. So if you're watching this early, like you've just found out that you're pregnant, then chances are you still feel pretty good. Maybe you're tired, but the nausea hasn't set in, maybe. But what I would say is chances are it's going to get worse. So do as much as you can now. I literally felt nauseous and sofa-ridden for 6 weeks probably, and I got so little done. So if there's something you need to get done, I know you're probably thinking, yes, many things every day, then try to get those done now. Another thing I would say is if you can prep some ginger shots, this is what I would have done. Ginger is great for nausea, but most ginger products that you buy are really sugary, like ginger ale or ginger cordials, and ginger sweets, so sugary. So just get yourself some ginger, lemon, honey, blend up your ginger, sieve it through a sieve or a mesh, and add a bit of honey and lemon juice, and just store those in the freezer in the fridge. And then if you have nausea, or when it sets in, then you are ready. And even if you don't feel nauseous, ginger has so many health benefits as well. So I'd say that's definitely worth doing. So let's conclude. Do celebrate, do call your doctor, do tell people that you would be okay telling you'd had a miscarriage. Don't continue unhealthy habits. Don't eat anything you wouldn't at a cheap buffet on a warm day. Don't use retinoids or retinols for your skin. Don't use hot tubs, saunas, or take really long hot baths. Plus, we talked about the earliest symptoms and how to overcome them. And finally, prepping ahead. So I hope these tips were helpful. I know that I would have wanted these to begin with. So now what? I would just go through this list, tick off the to-dos, avoid the don'ts, and prep ahead for when you're going to feel maybe a little bit more nauseous and tired. Trust me, your future self will thank you. And before you go, I want to know, when did you find out you're pregnant and how did you find out? Feel free to comment below. I would love to read your story. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please do like and subscribe. I'll be sharing another video next week. Thank you so much. Bye.